Oh yeah, it's here, baby. The sequel all four of you were waiting for. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about more Digimon games. And this time, we're going to be diving into the new era. The current era. The blessed era. You get it. I will say before we start, I won't be including next order, because we kind of shed some light on that last episode. All that needs to be said is that it ended up getting a main console release later on, and it was solid. That's really it. In this installment of Digimon Games, we'll be talking about the localization era, where Digimon Games truly came back and Bandai finally realized the popularity and love that's always existed for these games. For a while, Digimon Games didn't come to America and Europe. It wasn't until a big petition gained lots of traction for Bandai to open their eyes and finally bring Digimon Games back with games like Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. That release and that fame truly marked the return and resurgence for Digimon Games outside of Japan, and I can't wait to get more in depth about said games in this video. This won't be the same rapid-fire style as the other two, considering we only have 3 games to really talk about. The 4th game I won't be mentioning because of a special reason that I will get into later. For now, it's great to be back to talk about one of my favorite franchises in the world, as I am a big fan of Digimon and hopelessly obsessed. Now that we're all excited, I present to you the first game on this list, and that is... oh no.
Digimon All-Star Rumble!
This is the most obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Oh, you know this is going to be a good video when the first thing you have to look at is this living definition of mediocrity. Digimon All-Star Rumble is our first stop on this journey, and oh god, the reveal and release of this thing was a fever dream. A complete blur, it seemed fake. Bandai randomly dropped a trailer out of nowhere for this game, went radio silent, had a random livestream Q&A with gameplay, then went radio silent while also trolling Digimon fans in said livestream. Idiots. Then they went radio silent again, and then it just came out. It was an absolute shit show. Digimon All-Star Rumble is essentially the sequel we've always wanted to the very fun and enjoyable Rumble Arena games we got in the past. Before we tear the game to shreds, I do want to talk about some of the good things though. Honest to god, man, the fighting in this game isn't that bad. The combos, while minimal and bare bones, are neat and cool to see. The graphics and arenas are also appealing. There are a few positives here, but none of that can help the fact that this game is a complete failure and absolutely stupid game. I say this all the time, just because it's fun with friends doesn't make it a good game. This is one of them. All-Star Rumble is devoid of any creativity and love. This feels like more of a fan game than a real game made by actual developers. The story mode is atrocious. You pick a Digimon from the roster, you go through the same spaces, the same areas, the same levels, with broken hit detection and broken enemies that take an eternity to get through to go and fight the same final boss in the same arena and same everything. But it completely fell flat and is a monotonous, tedious, absolutely boring, crappy game mode. The game only has 12 Digimon on the roster, and has less characters somehow than the 2 games before it. The Digimon picked are honestly really cool, but there is nowhere near enough on the roster, and on top of that they took a step backwards and did the Rumble Arena 1 of doing things, and that's allowing a quick Digivolution to Mega before de-Digivolving again. Except they somehow made it worse than it was years ago. Not only is the Digivolution time shorter, but you have no way of fighting back for that time. You get absolutely bull rushed and slaughtered, and there's no post-hit invincibility. So you get absolutely gangbang in the side of an arena with Wargreymon grinding on you until he gets enough energy to use a super mover until he de-digivolves. They took concepts from Rumble Arena 1 and made it all worse. The game is so bare bones. There's few different game modes you could play, a local multiplayer, an absolutely atrocious story mode, and that's about it. This game does nothing noteworthy and almost nothing good. It was a random release cash grab that failed to live in on any expectations or hype, and it didn't even have online mode in it, which really did the game in. They couldn't even do something as simple as that. But it wouldn't have mattered anyway, considering the 4 people that knew the game released like I did wouldn't have played it. Bandai didn't advertise this piece of garbage at all, and it may actually have been a blessing in disguise, because if anyone else saw this game, it probably would have buried the idea of Digimon Games even coming here for good. Digimon All-Star Rumble is a broken, uninspired, tedious, boring, and bare bones mess. Agumon also sounds like he's 70 and just recently quit smoking. Oh no! Absolute filth. Moving on to the next one we have is what marked the true return and resurgence of Digimon games. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth was a fantastic game. Cyber Sleuth brought back what we loved about Digimon games like World 3, Dawn, and Dusk on the DS, and multiple others in one. After receiving a message from a hacker, you investigate the cyber network Eden, where you meet new friends Nokia and Arata Sanada. The hacker that contacted you gives them Digimon capture programs and locks them in Eden. While searching for an exit, you meet the other hackers Yugo, leader of the hacker team Zaxxon. Yugo teaches the player how to use their Digimon capture, and later you meet back up with Nokia and Arata after a way out of the space is unlocked. All three of you are then attacked by a mysterious creature that then grabs you as you escape. After you escape, you become a half-digitized entity, and later picked up and rescued by Detective Kyoko Kurumi, the leader of the Kurumi Detective Agency. You then work with her throughout the game and explore this fantastic world and all its mysteries. It's such a great and deep story that continues to open up more and more as you go further in the game. But this is just a small introduction to help you all understand what exactly it is. The gameplay is your average turn-based Digimon RPG like World 3 and the Dawn and Dusk titles. It's fantastic. It's more refined and so much fun to play. This game brings back the same excitement and greatness of recruiting, evolving, and building a dream team of Digimon with the return of the great Digifarms from the past game. There are so many Digimon to evolve and collect, and there's a lot of missions and exploration in the game to really keep you occupied, as well as awesome tournaments you can play to unlock more items that'll help you through the game. The game is very story driven with plenty of dialogue and great storytelling. It's a phenomenal game, honestly. Digivolving in this game is very easy as well, but you can run into some issues with the ability stat. Some Digimon require a certain amount of ability to evolve to, and the unfortunate thing with this game and Hacker's Memory is that there isn't many ways to upgrade it. There are items you get in game to do that, but they're very, very rare and hard to obtain. The most common way to gain ability is by de-digivolving your Digimon and digivolving them back up. You get more ability the higher the level of your Digimon when you de-digivolve and gain very little when you actually evolve. It can definitely be tedious at times when you're trying to get a certain Mega on your team, but the payoff is absolutely worth it. You have a total of 11 slots to fill with Digimon to bring with you on your journey, 3 starters and 8 backups, so there's plenty of room to experiment, evolve, and create a great team. The game really encourages you to explore many different evolution lines and really strategize and build a balanced team. Having too many of one type can really make it hard to win fights because there are plenty of Digimon you fight and come across where having the right Digimon type can give you the ultimate advantage and mow down enemies with ease. I had the issue of having mainly vaccine Digimon and getting destroyed by high-end data type Digimon later in the game at times. If one thing doesn't work, there's plenty of avenues to explore to create a better and more refined team. It's a fantastic time, but there's definitely a lot of time and grinding needed. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth takes many great things the Digimon franchise did in years past with the other games and blends it into one, and creates a fantastic story and world around it all. This game truly brought back Digimon Games in a better light and convinced Bandai to keep it all coming. This is easily the most important game in the franchise as it finally solidified the franchise back as a great series of games and brought back together old and new fans. It's thanks to the wonderful fans and Bandai willing to give another chance that we have Digimon games coming again. And they are missing a beat as we got more Digimon games in the pipeline coming soon. The next and surprisingly final game to talk about here is Digimon Story Hacker's Memory. You might be confused because there's an obvious game here I'm missing, but you'll understand that on our final stop later. Hacker's Memory is a prequel. This game shares many similarities and locations as Cyber Sleuth but builds a completely different world with different characters. You're accused of a crime you didn't commit, and you join a group of hackers named Hoodie to find the real culprit. And on the way you befriend numerous Digimon and get closer with the group of people you're working with. Ryuji, the leader and older brother of the adorable and smart Erika, and the loyal and goofy best friend Cheetos. I would go more in depth with the importance of these characters, especially Erika, but I do not want to spoil anything. Just know that it's fantastic and the story and characters are a major step up from the other title. Hacker's Memory had an even better, deeper, and emotional story with more lovable characters that you become a bit attached to. The gameplay is more of the same really, but I feel like the issue with the ability stat for Digimon somehow got worse. Evolving in this game seems harder than it did in the last one. I feel like you have to grind more and do more here compared to the original game. There are times where I genuinely needed a break from the game due to how tedious it got in that regard, but the story really keeps you invested. Don't get me wrong, Hacker's Memory is still a really damn good game, and it has the edge over the original Cyber Sleuth just because of the story and characters. Things just seemed a bit more irritating in terms of evolving compared to the other title. It's cool, because I feel like the role you're in this is so much cooler. You aren't a detective, you're the hacker this time around, and there's so many cool things you could do to get around the game with the role you're in. You're also introduced to a really cool battling system that occurs in different parts of the game called Domination Battles. You're going up against 3 tamers and the objective is to meet the conditions of the battle, like some needing a certain amount of points to win. You go across the board collecting points, beating up the other tamers' Digimon, and taking control of the battle. They pop up quite a few times, but not enough in my opinion. It's a really fun time. There's also even more Digimon in this game than before. Even the Digimon Fusion cast makes an appearance, and it's great. My lifelong dream of having a Megidramon under my control came to life because I made sure I had this absolute monster of a Digimon. He's so powerful and absolutely worth having on your team. I had him my whole playthrough. The one thing I will say for both games is that the starter Digimon are absolutely horrendous. I have zero clue what they were thinking for both games. In the original game, you have the choice of Palmon, Terriermon, and Hagoromon. In Hacker's Memory, it's somehow worse. You get Betamon, Tentomon, or Gatsumon. You struggle to pick between these, while Nokia in the original just gets a Gabumon and Agumon for shits and giggles. Thanks, game. I picked Terriermon and Tentomon though because at least they're cool. Digimon Story Hacker's Memory is a great game and a big step forward with storytelling and characters compared to the original. The gameplay for both is about on par. Hacker's Memory might have a couple more negatives, but it isn't enough to drag it down. I haven't done ratings for any of the videos, but if I had to rate these games, Cyber Sleuth would get a strong 7.5 out of 10, Hacker's Memory would get an 8.5 out of 10. Great games and absolutely worth the playthrough, of course, if you're a Digimon fan, but also an RPG fan in general. I know people that got into the Digimon series because of these games, so it's absolutely worth your time. Now time to talk, and not talk, about one last game. The latest game released in the Digimon series back in 2022, and that is Digimon Survive. Man, I have so much to say about this absolutely incredible, and arguably the best Digimon game ever made. But I won't be doing it here. Digimon Survives deserves its own video. That's right, I'm going to be making a full review on this game in the future. I can't promise when it'll come, but you'll see it very soon. I want to take my time with this one because this is going to be a big video, a great project that I'm looking forward to going in depth with. It'll more than likely be spoiler free as well, so don't worry though. But if anything changes, you'll obviously know when we get to the video. Digimon in general, I'd love for it to be a mainstay on the channel. I'm a massive fan, as you guys know. I love talking about the franchise. I hope you guys are down for that, as I am. More Digimon and more videos on the other great classics and retro games coming soon. There's lots more in the pipeline, and obviously the goal is to be consistent with it. But I appreciate you guys for coming by and for watching. Please stay tuned for more content from this channel. Jaybills Games signing off. I will see you guys in the next video.